Geometry Dash meets Neon White. What a premise, and believe me, you want to see what we came up with. I really think that we are onto something novel with interesting mechanics. But let us go back for a second to see what it took to get there. Welcome to this Devlog, my name is Minzo, enjoy the video. Let's recap for a minute. It's about January of this year. We had just finished a devlog for the game Adventure's Eve, which we had been working on for a few months. It was around this time where the realization struck that we would not be able to finish it. The game structure was just way too complicated and all the systems were incredibly unstable. It was essentially an upside down pyramid. Putting down the game was quite a tough decision. I didn't want to stop making games. I mean, we are just at the start of what's possible. And all the stuff that we had learned during the now failed project should not be for nothing after all. Having made this decision, there was actually a kind of new feel of freedom. No more obligation to add new features to a game that essentially had been lost from the start. Before we move on, what can we actually do to not run into the same problem again with the next project? And I think that the two main points where one can simplify is by reducing A, the number of systems that work together, and B is to not create complicated storylines, since this proves to be quite challenging. But hey, let us move on. What are we actually going to make? I've always found games that use movement as a core mechanic especially intriguing. It's the games that are fun to play without even having any goals. Games that just feel good, or in the words of Noel and Maddie, the makers of Celeste.
Just make sure the moment to moment feels good, so that like when someone was just sitting there with a controller and the room could be empty but they can move their character around, make like that feel good. Like
with no goals or anything, just make sure it's fun to be that character.
Yeah.
Like I remember playing Mario Sunshine and just running around Delfino Plaza for hours because it was just fun.
You just like can flip off stuff and all these things, like just the player itself can do all these cool like interactive things that just feel fun.
With that as a first core goal, let us start actually making it and talk more about the interesting details of concept later. To get more control over input and movement, I decided to get rid of all the physics systems that Unity offers and create them from scratch. Even though this approach makes the whole thing a tad harder to code, I'm hoping to have snappier results. Just to show you what GameDev is actually like, I'm gonna take you on this very intense coding session.
Class followed by the name. In my case, I'm just gonna write cat and then some curly brackets. And that's it. We've now created a cat class.
There we go. That wasn't too hard. It's all working now. Yeah, if you look at it like this, there were some challenges. Yeah, it was quite hard. Okay, stop. I admit it. It was fucking hard. But it doesn't matter. It is all working now, which is the most important thing. We have a small test level room, which is quite empty right now. So let's add a power up. I'm thinking about a diamond, which allows you to dash in any direction. A dash diamond. It would really help to spice things up a bit. I won't bother you with the details, but I'm quite happy how it turned out. Even though it might look weird, it certainly feels good to use. I just want to add that this is obviously all placeholder art, since I haven't decided quite yet with what style I want to go with. So if you're an artist who wants to team up, I'd be open. I think fellow YouTuber and game dev SoulTunes has a very nice overview of that. Right now we are at the idea, concept and core stages. The art will come later. This might be a good time to talk about the concept and idea of the game. First of all, the name for the game is, at least for now, Agility. It stands for the fast-paced movement and abilities, which I will tell you more about in a second. So, the core structure of the game are these things called campaigns. Each campaign has maybe around 20 levels. Each campaign also represents one special movement ability. As you start the game, you will only be able to run and jump. To unlock new movement abilities, you will have to choose a campaign to start with. Let's say that the first campaign you choose is the double jump campaign. After you have played a certain number of levels inside that campaign, you unlock the double jump for use in other campaigns. Now, the idea of the game is that you try to beat your personal best time of each level over and over again, which brings a certain speedrun aspect. Think Neon White, where you run the same level over and over again to get better times in levels. Now the twist that I have in mind is that as you start more and more campaigns to unlock new movement abilities, you will be able to go back to previous levels to improve your times, since you just unlocked new movement abilities which allow you to pull off new shortcuts. Now that was a lot of information. But if you're actually still here and understood what I just said, I would really love to hear or read your thoughts in the comments. It would make my day. To round things off, I added a countdown to the start of the level during which the state machine is turned off, so that the player cannot move. I also added a basic menu organization system. It all needs a lot more work, but one can play the game now without opening Unity. And that's it from me. I thank you so much for watching and liking the video. I'm sorry that I was gone for so long, but it is what it is. If you want to watch the last devlog of our failed game, click here. See you there. Have a great day.